Alright, thanks for joining me on this video while I go ahead and explain to you how I got the distributor reinstalled and got it all properly timed with the engine. First thing you're going to need to do is have all the spark plugs removed, because you're going to need to turn the motor by hand, and with the spark plugs installed it creates too much back pressure and it's too hard to turn the motor. So you're going to need them all out. I ended up taking only 7 out. The last one in the back on the passenger side is a little hard to get to take in and out, so I went ahead and tried it with just with 7 of the 8 removed, and the motor turned pretty freely by hand. So you're going to need to start with the distributor right here. Let's get this out of the way. You need to mark on the distributor body here the position of the rotor when it's pointed at the number 1 terminal, which is this one right here. So it's you mark it right there, because when you install the distributor and drop it in, you're going to need to make sure that the rotor is pointing in that position where it would be lining up with the number 1 spark plug wire terminal. So once you first have that done, then you can go ahead and get ready for the install. The biggest thing is down here with the harmonic balancer, and you can see down there there's the metal, the timing mark. Zoom in there. You can see focuses there. It says time right on it. That's what you're going to need to line up. There we go, came into focus. You need to line up on the harmonic balancer. There's marks on there for the timing. So what you're going to do with the spark plugs out, you're probably going to need someone to help you. I wasn't able to do this all on my own. You put one finger over the number 1 cylinder spark plug hole, and you turn the crank manually by hand until you get on that compression stroke to where you can feel the force pressing back on your finger. And once you feel that force, you make sure that that force coincides with right down there on the front of that where it says time. There's some marks on the balancer that indicate the degrees of timing. A lot of the videos said I saw on YouTube said to set it at 0 degrees. But according to my engine builder, he said that the engine won't start at 0. You need to have it advanced. And he recommended that I have it advanced between 15 and 20 degrees before top dead center. So what I did was I turned the motor by hand with my assistant's finger over the number 1 spark plug hole, and then he told me when he felt the compression, and I would look down here to make sure that we were on the right mark. So the compression stroke took place when the harmonic balancer was lined up with that time mark, and it was about 20 degrees before top dead center. So with that set, I went ahead and came up, had this rotor, because of the bottom of the distributor, it's like a spiral gear set. So if you were to drop it in just in that position, it's going to want to rotate this rotor as the gears are lining up. So I started with the rotor here, moved back a little bit, dropped the distributor into position, and when those gears meshed, it rolled it right in line with that. So once that was done, I actually had no problem getting the distributor to connect to the oil pickup. Once it rotated in that position, it dropped straight down. So I went ahead and bolted it down, not too tight. Went ahead, got in the car, fired it up. Since the fuel lines had been disconnected, it took about 2 turns of the key to prime the fuel system, and the car fired right up. I didn't have any troubles. Oh, we got a helicopter flying overhead here. I didn't have any troubles getting the car to start. Go ahead and wait just a minute for that to clear. The car started up just fine. It was obviously advanced quite a bit, so the engine was running a bit clunky. So once I got it started up, I went ahead and got out. I had my little, went ahead and had this. You need to get this little tab pulled out. Let's see if I can even get it up here. You can see it. This little guy here. Got to pull that out to properly set the timing. So once I had the motor started and running, I came out, pulled that out, got my timing gun out, and went ahead and rotated the distributor and got the timing adjusted to 10 degrees. Plugged that little chip back in, and everything ran smoothly. So it actually went pretty easily. I was a little worried about that process because I'd never done it right, and I wanted to make sure got the motor all timed properly. But with those instructions from my engine builder, everything went just fine. So like I said, the most important thing is before you get started, you mark where the rotor's pointing at. When it's lined up with number 1, you mark it on the distributor body itself. Go ahead and get your finger on the number 1 cylinder spark plug hole. Turn that motor by hand until you get that time mark and that compression on the number 1 cylinder to coincide right between 15 and 20 degrees, top dead center. Go ahead and drop your distributor in with your rotor kind of turned this way, so once the gears mesh up, it should rotate right in. And you'll know if you have it on the oil pump pickup when the distributor seats all the way down. If it doesn't go into that pickup, the bottom of the distributor there will be sitting up about 1/4 of an inch, and it won't go flush with the block. So if you don't have it going flush, you might need to turn it by hand to get the distributor to drop. And I've read that people said you can just put like a screwdriver in there and kind of turn the pickup for that oil pump until it lines up with the base of the distributor. But I didn't have any problems. It dropped right in. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's how you install the distributor and get the engine all timed up properly. I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to browse the channel and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for watching.